How's it going, guys? Pat here with the Charles River Rowing League, and I am pumped that we've made it through week 2. Really quick, if you want to make sure you're getting these recaps and all of our emails, be sure to check your junk folder or your promotions folder, find the email, drag it to your primary inbox, and that way you will always be up to date with everything that's going on in the league and you won't miss a thing. So, 3 things today. Number 1, Friday, June 17th, we are going to have our final race. So we're in week 2. After 6 weeks of learning to row and some fun racing, we're actually going to bring the whole league together on one night. That's Friday, June 17th. And it's going to be like a normal practice from 6:45 p.m. to 8:15 p.m., more or less. And we want you to invite as many of your family, friends, coworkers as possible, because we want them to cheer on all 14 boats that are racing in the league on that Friday night. There will be a Learn to Row demo going on upstairs in the erg room. We'll be live streaming all of the races via Periscope, and then everyone's gonna get to enjoy a little barbecue outside as they cheer on the final race in front of the dock. So make sure you're there, make sure you tell your friends. Feel free to share this week's update to make sure we get a ton of people here. So looking forward to that. Number 2, what's next? A lot of people this week were asking, like, this is really fun, this is awesome, I want to keep doing it this summer because the weather's gorgeous, and what's next? So there's actually 2 more sessions of the Charles River Rowing League this summer. Number 2 is happening in June, so when we finish on June 17th, the next week, June 21st, the second session starts. That's the summer session. It's going to go for 6 more weeks from June 21st to July 28th. And then there'll be a 3rd session that starts at the end of July and runs through August into our final in September. But the big thing there is, what are you accomplishing? What are you learning? Why do you want to do session 2 and session 3? We actually have a tier system. Right now, most of you are working in tier 1. You're basically figuring out how to get around the boathouse, what this is called, blade versus shaft, squared, feathered, how to essentially get the boat down to the water, work with your team, get out there rowing and racing. Tier 2 is what you can advance to in session 2. Practicing racing starts, actually doing some more technical drills, getting better boat feel and sense. Tier 3 is getting competitive. We actually have a couple of boats returning from last year, Buff's Pub, Choate, who are working in between this tier 2, tier 3 model. And we're very excited to keep this an ongoing league with as many boats as possible. So we want to see you guys come back and compete and continue to step up your game and learn more and get faster with your friends and coworkers. So that's what you can expect after the league. We want you to sign up, and there'll be more info coming out about that in this week's update as well as the coming weeks. Last but not least, lessons learned. So we already talked about it. You know, what is this called? You know, what is this called? What is this called? What is this called? I have a ton of video as well as some documents in this week's update on the landing page. Make sure you share it with your coworkers or friends. Make sure you take a look at each video and figure out what you know and what you need to study and sort of relearn from the last couple weeks. You can always use this week's landing page as a resource as you sort of prepare for the coming weeks. We basically have 2 more weeks of learning to row and getting fast. Then we'll spend the last couple weeks doing some racing boat versus boat before our final race and throwdown to figure out the fastest boat in the league on Friday, June 17th. So check out those videos. If you have questions, feel free to ask. And I'm so excited to see you guys out here on the water. Have a good one, guys.